Welcome back, friends, and welcome to all my first time viewers. So, today we're going to be taking a look at some beautiful small trees that flower in the spring, and they're great for your garden. So, it can look something like this, or maybe almost. If you've never been here before, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. So, we're going to also take a look at a few shrubs as well that bloom round about the same time, and they complement each other so well. But let's take a look at the first tree, and the first one is a flowering dogwood. It has the botanical name Cornus florida, and it is absolutely gorgeous. One of the early spring bloomers, and you can see that there are beautiful white flowers there, and it has that horizontal, branching on there. Bear in mind that this plant, it basically grows 15 to 30 feet, so I'd say that's a relatively small size tree. The good thing about them is that they can live between 20 and 30 years, but they've been told to go up to 80 years. You can see they have white petals or white flowers that you see on that one, but they can also come in shades of pink and even sometimes red, but it's more of like a burgundy color that you'll see, so those options are available for you. And the flowers aren't true flowers. The white part that you see there, those are actually bracts, they're colored bracts, which are modified leaves. The little green part in the center is where you actually have the true flower, so it doesn't have large petals, it has large bracts, kind of like a poinsettia in a sense. And they don't mind being under taller trees. They do need to have hard sun or sometimes even full sun, but they're perfectly fine being in there, and it just looks nestled in this landscape right here, and I think it is so gorgeous. You can tell me what you think about that. Now, as far as where to plant them, in the type of soil that is, you'll want to put them in soil that is acidic to neutral. And if not, there are ways you can get that taken care of. But we'll talk about it a little further in the video about how to get, your soil more acidic for plants that are of that nature. When you are planting them, of course, you'll typically see them in your garden center, like the ones you're seeing here. You see they have a white one and they have a pink one available. When you're planting those, you want to make sure that the hole that you dig for them is twice as wide, sometimes even up to 3 times as wide. But in terms of depth, it should not go lower than the level of the soil that's surrounding. So you'll want to, of course, cover it over with some fresh soil, but you want to be sure that you're not putting it so it's sunken down in a hole, because they don't like that. So you'll want to bear that in mind. And they like to be watered well for the first year, when they're being established, and then after that you can kind of back off a little bit, but don't make the soil be soggy. The main thing too is to put mulch on there, and there's so many different types of mulch that are available. You have the red one, you have cypress mulch, you have the brown one, and what this does is that it helps to retain moisture, and it keeps them cool in the summertime so they don't dry out too much, because they are cold hardy flowers, or plants I should say, though they kind of prefer that. And of course it keeps them warm in the winter, and it helps to keep weeds away from them. So many reasons to put mulch, about 2 to 3 inches of thickness on there. And it is just wonderful to see them in the landscape in the springtime. So if you're thinking about it, I'd say go for it and get one. And as long as the ground isn't frozen over, you're welcome to plant them, and you typically see them available in your garden center. The next one would be saucer magnolia. This is a beautiful one that I have in the center of my garden. The botanical name is Magnolia solangiana, if I'm saying that right. You can see this has beautiful large pink flowers. These are all early spring bloomers, guys. And the petals, or the flowers I should say, the flower heads can actually go anywhere from 4 inches to 12 inches. So these are the ones that I have here, and I'd say these are maybe between 6 to 7 inches across, if you were to look at them that way. And they're absolutely wonderful. I just love them. They're great. They grow in growing zones 4 to 9, and they typically grow about 20 to 30 feet. They are fairly slow growers though, because this one is a large one here, so they would have had this one for many years. I've had mine a little over 10 years or so, maybe 15 years possibly, and mine is maybe like about, I'd say maybe like about 6 feet tall, so not very large. So they grow fairly slowly, and you can control them, by trimming them back, but do this right after the blooms have fallen off. That would be the perfect time, because if you trim them back in the fall, then you will not get to enjoy those beautiful blooms in the springtime. And what I like about all of these ones that I'm showing you here, all of these different trees and shrubs, is that when the flowers come out at first, there are no leaves, it's just all flowers, and it is so striking. These also like to have acidic soil that is well drained. You want to plant them either in the late winter when the soil is workable, or early spring. If it's towards the end of the year, you want to do that in the fall season, about say the middle part of the fall, maybe about 6 weeks or so minimum before the first hard freeze. And you can just put them in. They come up a little bit as far as being established, and then they'll be perfectly fine. And it's just so wonderful to enjoy them in your spring garden. One of the first ones that bloom for me. And you can also enjoy them inside like I did here. I did a little arrangement here, which I thought was really cute. 2 ones to be exact. It doesn't last very long inside, though I will say typically you get like 24 hours and then they start dropping. So it's better to enjoy them outside. But if you have like a really hard freeze coming, because, you know, the petals, they can get damaged if it gets too cold out there, you know, after they come out. So that's going to happen. You can always just cut them and enjoy them inside for another day or two, and then that'll kind of be the end of it. But you do have those different options with this wonderful plant. When you are planting them, it's the same situation again as far as, you know, the depth. You'll want to put them, you know, no deeper than the level of the surrounding soil, and about 2 times the width of the container that you get them in at the nursery. Once you do that, will be pretty much good to go. And of course, you'll also want to mulch them and, you know, make sure that they're well watered until they're fully established, but no soggy soil, because that could cause root rot. Next, we move on to the Yoshino cherry, and boy, does this one say spring. It's absolutely gorgeous. You'll see this like, you know, in Washington, where they have those beautiful cherry blossoms. I think in Georgia, in Macon, Georgia, they also have the Cherry Blossom Festival there as well too. And that's a close-up that you just saw of how beautiful they can look. They do get pretty tall though. These ones are a little bit taller, so you have to watch what, like, where you put them. Don't put them near power lines, or where they, you know, they'll get into obstructions and, you know, cause problems for you. And since we are talking about, you know, the earlier part, planning out our garden, this video that I did recently talks about mistakes to avoid to have a great year, your best year ever. So be sure to check it out. I'll link it at the end of this video for you. And so if you like this backdrop that's behind me right here, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box for you in case you wanted to use it maybe to take pictures or make content or do videos, so you can get one for yourself or maybe a similar type. And the next one would be the Eastern Redbud. And this is an absolutely gorgeous one. This is a fairly small tree too. It doesn't get that large. It grows about 20 to 30 feet. And you can see it gets those beautiful magenta colors. And they get a little bit lighter when it opens up more, but it's very striking in the landscape. This is just such a beautiful sight. I just love the way it branches. It's very different. It's a slower growing one too. Not fast growing like the cherry that you just saw earlier. It's actually native to North America from Michigan all the way down to central Mexico. So it covers a wide range. You may also see it in Ontario, Canada, and, you know, places like California. So it's very far reaching, and I really love this one. I don't have one myself, but I see them in the landscape all the time, and I admire them so much, you know, when they come out in the springtime. And this plant also has a beautiful interest after the flowers have faded, where the colors of the leaves, you can see how beautiful they are. Now, as far as this plant goes, you're going to plant it in a similar way like the other 2 that I mentioned previously. And it's going to be perfectly fine for you. Just get it established, you know, when you're watering it. And you can see these ones, so you can buy them at your garden center. You can see how beautiful little colors the colors are on there coming out. And once they open up, it gets a little lighter, like I was saying before. So it's wonderful to get. And, you know, I would definitely recommend it. They seem to be very low maintenance from what I can see. That's a good one. And I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you have never done so before. I do lots of gardening topic tips and tours, and my husband is typically behind the camera. Sometimes he may be in front of it, but we enjoy doing this. We enjoy presenting all of this to you, and be sure to hit the bell twice so you never miss an upload. Now, I'll talk about peaches, and as far as peaches go, you know, of course, it's for eating, but the flowers are also beautiful, so I did want to show them to you as well, so you can see how pretty they are. They have a double purpose, flowers and fruit. I also wanted to mention about the Bartlett pear, because this one is another early spring bloomer, one of the first ones you'll see as well too. But in some areas like mine, I'm in growing zone 8, they say it's invasive, so, you know, they try to cut back on how many of those, because it really spreads a lot. You know, it multiplies by suckers. Next one would be lilacs, and I don't see a lot of these in my area. It could be that I'm missing them, and they are there. They love cool weather, so these ones are typically from growing zones 3 to 8, and this is more of a shrub, to be honest. It grows about 8 to 15 feet tall. You can get flowers that are white, you can get flowers that are pink, and flowers that are purple. And so if you wanted to get some of these online, I'll link these, whether you're getting the bare roots or the seeds. If you wanted to try that, I'll link it. But always do your reviews, guys. Whenever I link things, do your reviews to see if it's something that's going to work for you. And if not, and it's in your garden center, you could try going that way too. So, you have different options available to you. Now, moving along to the next one, and that would be forsythia. And boy, do I love this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm thinking of getting one, but I'm thinking, where am I going to put it? Because they do spread out a little bit. They actually grow about 3 to 9 feet in height, and they may be about 4 to 5 feet across. So they do spread out, and they have a wonderful habit called a fountain type habit where they grow and they kind of flop over. So they're pretty low maintenance. There isn't a whole lot to do with them, and they're in growing zones 5 to 8. They do prefer full sun, and when you're buying them, this is typically how you get like your bare roots right here. And I did my recent video showing you different plants that you can get, so you can always go ahead and check that out. I'll link it at the end. Then we move on to azaleas. This is such a favorite of mine. It's wonderful in the southeastern region in so many spring landscapes. If you ever watch the Masters, the Gulf Masters tournament, you'll see a lot of these in the gardens over there. They're just so beautiful. And these ones are a little bit later in the spring, but still early enough. And you typically see lots of blooms first before you see the leaves coming out. And they can grow to 30 to 50 years. They come in so many different colors. You can get your pinks, you can get your peaches, you can get your whites, you can get, reds, whatever you want. They have something. They grow in pard shades, so if they're under dappled sunlight, they're pretty good to go. But the best spot for them really is pard shade. As you can see some of the images here, those are the areas that they do best in. So if you put them maybe like where they're getting sun all the time, that's not the ideal spot for them, so you'll want to choose them carefully. Now, and of course, you're going to plant these in the springtime as well too, when the ground isn't frozen over. But typically, I'd say maybe like towards the beginning of spring, or maybe slightly towards the middle. They do need acidic soil, so you need to put fertilizers like these on there so that, it can bring that up for them, or I should say down, depending on how you look at the number. But they'll need to be in acidic soil. So those are going to help you, and I'll link those at the end for you. And on this video here, did it about a year ago, I think it was. It's done really, really well. And I'll link it in the description box if you wanted to get all the ins and outs, pests and diseases, places to plant them, when to plant them, and all of that, and just some beautiful images. You can check it out, and it will be down below the title. Now, this one is not a tree or a shrub. It's the wisteria, but I did want to show it to you because they're usually blooming at around that time. And it is wonderful to see when it just hangs off on the taller trees. But and it is, it has woody tissue, so it's not like, a slender, tender vine. It's solid. What I'll say though is that it can be invasive. So if it's not something that you want to have a lot of in your garden, then you may want to avoid this one. And they do have different varieties. So you can do your research to see which ones are more invasive, so you can avoid those and, choose what is best for your needs. You can get those at your garden center. So I did show you different options. So you have so many ways that you can beautify your, your early spring garden, or even into the middle of spring, with so many wonderful colors on here. You saw like the beautiful magnolia with those gorgeous large petals or flowers. You saw the dogwood with those horizontal branching that just looks so striking in the landscape. Of course, the famous cherry blossoms. It'd be nice to have one of those. You have the red bud, which doesn't get too big, and it also gives you those colors of the leaves. You have your lilacs, depending on where you are, your zone, the fiery forsythia, and of course the wonderful azaleas. So I would say you have many different options, different sizes, so let me know which one was your favorite. And I won't say which one was mine, because guess what? They all are. I love every single one of them, but that's just me. If I could plant all of these, I surely would do it. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for coming by again. Thank you to my all my wonderful returning viewers and subscribers. I wish you a happy gardening season. Get going, guys. Plan it out early, and that way you'll be ready when the weather is ready for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Take care.